I want to say this to the members of the media that have cozied up to me and taken the first part of this story, but don't have the guts to report when it gets ugly. I want to say this to the members of Congress and the Senate who came alongside and got their little publicity moment, but have cut me off and stopped talking to me because now it's inconvenient. I have 4 words for you. It's not about you. It's about the people who've suffered.
Yep.
And if you're going to coward out now, we're all seeing it. We all know it. And we outnumber you. And that's not a threat.
Nope. Just a fact.
That's extreme disappointment. And where are you now? Where are you now? Like, we're in our Bonhoeffer moment here. And where are you? You're holding these big religious spiritual revival events in Washington, D.C. But the church, where's the church? Now that we know what's happened to these people, where is the church? These people are scrabbling to try to get some sort of restitution from the government. Thanks President Trump for the idea, but it should put the churches to shame that a civil government is reaching forward to help these people. I don't give a damn what your name is. I give a damn what the name of these parents is and that they get justice. And they're still suffering. I have people coming to me all the time. I'm having people coming to me saying their children were trafficked and how do they get their children back? To those members of Congress, because I hear things, I have sources everywhere. I have a really good intelligence network, to be honest. I've heard other people who say, oh, we don't want to work with Kelly. Well, guess what, Congressman? You have a 10% approval rating. Run along. We don't need you. If you're going to chicken out on us and put your reelection or your whatever it is ahead of actually serving the people, we don't need you. We founded this country before we ever had a government. We founded this country before the lawyers ever came in. In fact, we got tired of people like you constantly getting in the way of our freedom and telling us, you can't do this, you can't do that. There are a few congressmen that I really like, but mostly when I sit down with congressmen or lawyers or these volunteer law firms, they tell me what I can't do. They don't say we're going to fight for you. When 90% of the nation says you're doing a shit job, don't say you don't want to work with me, because you and me and patriots across this land are actually doing the heavy lifting. Go away.
Yep.
I don't need you.
That's right.
I think it's a privilege for you to talk to them. I think it's a privilege for them to be able to talk to us and to be servants to us. And we do afford them the honor of the position. But when they start to treat us like it's a boon, kiss my ring for you to be able to talk to me, that's ass backwards. That's not how our government's supposed to work. I've offered this again and again. Put me on camera with Todd Blanche. Some people have offered that. They're chicken shit. They won't do it because they know I have the truth. But think of the irony of that. I'm walking in to the most powerful law enforcement agency in the world as a broke-ass father who's been persecuted for 5-6 years, and I'm a threat to them? Are you kidding me? Sorry for my language. And these people who stood up and presumed to speak for us, one of them said, you're not invited because you misbehaved and that's justified. Who the hell are you to judge me? You didn't go through what I went through. No. Everybody who knows me says, Kelly, how have you been so patient after what you've been put through? I've had people say to me, I couldn't have survived 10% of what you've gone through. What you've gone through would have crushed me. I had the opportunity to sit with James O'Keefe in Nashville this late winter, early spring. We talked for 3 hours and he said, Kelly, everybody in Washington, D.C. and then that whole circle is for sale. They have a price. Yes. He said, he looked at me and he said, Kelly, how come you don't have a price? And I said, I'm not doing this for me. That's why. And you have to look at who's doing this for their country to serve their fellow man and compare that with people who are actually doing it for themselves, who want to make a career out of this, who want to be in the spotlight. If you're stepping on the downtrodden to have a place in the spotlight, shame on you.
If you're harmless, you're not virtuous. You're just harmless. You're like a rabbit. A rabbit isn't virtuous. It just can't do anything except get eaten. It's not virtuous. If you're a monster and you don't act monstrously, then you're virtuous. But you also have to be a monster. If they didn't break the rules, they wouldn't attain the highest goal. The hero has to be a monster, but a controlled monster. If you're going to be a fighter, you have to want to win. And you have to want to hurt people. I mean, not for the sake of hurting them. That's what makes you different than an evil person. But you have to have that capacity. You have to develop that.
Oh my God!
And that's the step on the way to enlightenment, weirdly enough, because that isn't what people think. There's been this attempt to identify masculine competence and power, let's say, but mostly competence with tyranny. And that's very, very hard on young men. It's also hard on young women, for that matter. But it's very helpful for people to hear that they should make themselves competent and dangerous and take their proper place in the world, because it's the alternative to being weak. And weak is not good, and life is a very difficult process, and you're not prepared for it unless you have the capacity to be dangerous. That doesn't mean that you should be cruel. It doesn't mean any of that. There's a statement in the New Testament, the meek shall inherit the earth. But the meek isn't well translated. It means something more like, those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed will inherit the world. That's a way better way of thinking about it. You have to be powerful and formidable and then peaceful, in that order, right? And that's not the same as being naive and weak and harmless, which is what young men are being encouraged to be. It's like, that's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea, because naive, weak, and harmless means that you can't withstand the tragedies of life. You can't bear any responsibility. You'll end up bitter. And when you get bitter, then you get dangerous. You don't treat adult men as if they're infants. But the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster. An absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it. Because if you are not capable of cruelty, you are absolutely a victim to anyone who is. And I guess the philosophy also is that if you're competent at fighting, that actually decreases the probability that you're going to have to fight, because when someone pushes you, you'll be able to respond with confidence, and with any luck, and this is certainly the case with bullies, with any luck, a reasonable show of confidence, which is very much equivalent to a show of dominance, is going to be enough to make the bully back off. And so the strength that you develop in your monstrousness is actually the best guarantee of peace. And you don't become safe by being castrated.
You are violating my civil rights.
You are resisting.
I'm not resisting. I'm just strong. Is this how you want to do this?
Sir, I asked you to abide by certain rules, and you would not, sir.